Josh Jacobson. I am presently the offensive coordinator at Liberty County High School in Hinesville, Georgia. And I wanted to share with you a file that I believe will help improve the efficiency and easiness of data collection since we are almost upon the off season with January rolling around. Quick background on me. I have been coaching for 23 years. I have had a lot of success and won many championships, but that is due to being surrounded by many great coaches over the years, many great mentors, many great players, and I've been very fortunate to have a successful career. I have been running a weight room, a strength and conditioning program from January to December for over a decade. I've been fortunate to draw a lot of information from a lot of different people, resources, countries, things of that nature. I also have been very fortunate to not have any serious injuries come football season to any critical players. We don't have cramp issues. We always seem to be physically prepared and ready to go from August until the end of the playoffs. So that's due to programming, but that's also due to the players working hard and trying to do the best they can on a consistent basis. So what I did is I created this test data file that essentially allows you to lay out anything you want on your tests from a lower body perspective, from an upper body perspective. We have utilized the quadrathlon, which was created by Max Jones. It is a pure strength and power speed output point system, and it allows you to determine who's getting stronger and faster and exhibiting more power, because the weight room is a fantastic tool to get stronger, but we have to translate that strength quickly with speed. Well, strength and speed, as we know, is power. So the faster we can do that, the better off we are. The first sheet that you see right here is a player test sheet. It's simply just a general sheet where you can list your roster, put your grade, have your heights, have your weights. The columns right here are for pre-fall practice. If you have two-a-days, you're weighing kids in, you're weighing kids out. It lets you know, hey, this kid's in the red. You can set your value to whatever you want this to be. Hey, this kid's in the green. He's gaining weight. Why is that? Things of that nature. Arm length, whatever metrics you want on the general sheet can be created. If we move on to the quadrathlon test sheet, then you will see the four different columns of the quadrathlon, which is the 30-meter sprint, the standing long jump or broad jump, a threefold jump in which you measure the total distance after the three jumps, and then an overhead backwards medicine ball throw or shot put throw. These four things are easy, they're simple, they allow you to get a lot of numbers in and out, they are very cheap to execute. All you need is a track or a piece of grass, a measuring tape, and a medicine ball or shot put to throw. The proper weight for the medicine ball throw or shot put is 12 pounds, I believe, plus or minus 1 pound, I think. But anyway, it allows you to, when we roll into January, test all these things. When you get to the middle of the off season, around March, test them again, and then going into summer, test them again, or how frequently you want to test them. If you want to test them once a month, if you want to test them every 3 weeks, that's up to you as the programmer. But it is the easiest and most efficient and cheapest way, because we don't have catapult, we don't have tendo units, we don't have velocity-based training, we don't have any of those things. Those things are very expensive, and most high schools do not have those. So if you utilize the quadrathlon, I think it will always give you an accurate number and depiction of exactly who's getting stronger, and while getting stronger, exhibiting that in a fast, powerful manner. Because again, it's the Max Jones Quadrathlon test is pure as far as strength power goes. So you see that. So up here you have your dates. You'll have your roster right here. You'll still have your grade, 12-4, 12-2. So where are those coming from? Same thing here, standing long jump, 12/4, 12/1. You have all these dates. Well, these sheets right here, these are your main sheets that connect to this test data. So you sit here, you put in your date right here. You would put it in row 3. That's why this column is blanked out. You have your dates all the way right here. And then the formulas are already created over here. So let's say you do 20 different tests in one calendar year, right? So you'd have 20 different dates. You'd be able to pop back over to this test data and say, all right, on 12/1, he did this. On March 6th, he did this. And all it is plug and play, but it allows you to get a big picture overall and allows you to see scores, value systems of who improved, who's staying the same, who's not working hard enough, and who's getting stagnant, or who's possibly decreasing too. And then at the end right here, you have there's quadrathlon score, which is also based off the formula. It's essentially a point system right here that each activity has a point system associated with it. Then you plug it into the quadrathlon formula and it gives you a total score, but that's already been done for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You have a leader sheet. You can copy and paste your roster, the grades, and then you can have who's on top and who's on bottom, who needs to work harder, who's doing a great job. Moving on, this next sheet is one that is a pure lower test data sheet. You can have whatever you want to max out in, whatever you put your core program around. You know, we've had squats before, we've had power cleans before, we've squatted to a 3-rep max. You know, I've utilized many different people. Like I said earlier, you know, from Jim Wendler's 531 to Westside Barbell to block periodization of Vladimir Ishrin to, juggernaut training to Charlie Francis's vertical integration, which is actually a programming method. But you take those principles and then as the programmer, you just decide, you plug and play as the year goes on, depending on where you're at. This is what we need to be focused on. All right, January's coming up. We're not going to do a lot of running, so this is mass building time. We need to add muscle mass, things like that. So everything shifts for the football players depending on where you're at in the calendar year. But again, these can be manipulated. These can be changed. What I test in isn't necessarily what you test in. This is from pretty much over a decade ago. So some of these things I haven't touched in a couple years. But again, it's the same thing. So squat, you have player A, player B. Click on the date. All right, 12/1, player A squatted 450. What did he do the next day? Oh, he squatted 315. So he went down, 80 pounds. Oh, what did he do or 90 pounds? What did he do the next day? Oh, so he did 455. So he jumped 140 pounds. But you get the point. You click on the date. It tells you exactly where everybody's at. And it's a whole column of people. However many kids you got, that's how many people you're going to get at one time. And then all you have to do is just plug in the data right here, and it automatically takes it to the next page. So you have all your tabs right there, all your maxes, all your exercises. Same thing coming up for the upper test data. Again, these columns can be changed. They can be manipulated, but it's the same concept. All right, 12/1, what did he do? 12/2, what did he do? 12/3, where did we go? And you can just constantly compare and contrast, but you get it in a big visual. You get it in the big picture. And the reason why these are obviously in NAs is because there's no specific value connected right now to those dates or those columns. So this isn't the final product, but this is close to it, right? Because all are formulas. And then finally, see all the tabs for that connect to the upper test data. The other things we've done before, field test data, where, change of direction 505, shuttle, Illinois, change of direction, and then the max velocity. You could include the L test. You could include tempo runs. You could include Keir Wyndham flats, tribe test, if you utilize that. There's many different things you can do, and all this stuff can be changed. So essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm just throwing this file out there. I am going to finalize this in about a week, and then I'm going to create a standard edition, which is just this right here, with everything you've already seen, and then a custom edition in which if you want to change your columns, if you want me to go back and change the columns to exactly what you want them to be. The one thing I'm not going to change is the quadrathlon, but I will change the lower and the upper test data and the field tests if you want those to be altered. There's a couple other things I'm going to add to this file. So like I said, this isn't the finalized file, but we're going to try to release this before Christmas so that you can have it on your big board when you get back to school after Christmas break. We'll have a standard version, like I said, and then we'll have a customizable version. If this interests you, let me know. If you have any feedback, you can email me at joshjacobson@gmail.com. There is no O between the S and the N between Jacobson. So JOSHJACOBSN@gmail.com.